In every industry where blacks are the highest skilled workers, there's always classism that permeates through the fabrics of the various subordinate groups. And when I say various, I mean it really loosely because there's really only two groups. It's Masa's favorites and Masa's non-favorites. ESPN is the perfect example of this because black talent pretty much run the network. And Masa's favorite mammy, Malika Andrews, roaming the plantation and does Masa's bidding by cracking any subordinate who starts feeling too good about themselves. Such was the case when she reported on Joe Mazzulla.
And Woj, you reported that Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach here. You can see now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar.
While reporting on Joe Mazzulla being promoted to head coach for the Boston Celtics and becoming the youngest head coach in NBA history, his crowning moment, she brought up this man's 16-year-old criminal record when he was in college, just to knock him down a few bridges because he was feeling himself too much. While on the other hand, Masa's unfavorites like Rob Parker gets fired, terminated, and let go once he gets too big for his bridges and start speaking a little too freely.
I talked to some people down in Washington, D.C., and my question, honest friends of mine, right, who are around and in some of the press conferences, people I've known for a long time. But my question, which is just a straight, honest question, is he a brother or is he a cornball brother?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that. Well, he's not really. Okay, he's black, he kind of does the thing, but he's not really down with the cause. He's not.
That clip of Rob Parker calling RG3 a cornball brother when RG3 was trying to distance himself from the black community, that was the last time we seen Rob Parker on ESPN.
When I think back on that situation, I'm like, there had to be something else. It couldn't have just been the cornball brother comments to RG3. There's no way that caused them to say, Rob, you're no longer with ESPN. It had to be something else going on behind the scenes.
I worked there for 8 years. Never called to the principal's office.
The difference between a Rob Parker and a Malika Andrews is that Rob Parker is unwilling to conform for an opportunity. Malika Andrews is not just willing to conform, but she's willing to do the bidding of the dominant society for a check. And it's the same thing in these multi-billion-dollar sports leagues. Athletes like LeBron James and Masa favorites like Jonathan Isaac gets rewarded and applauded for being outspoken.
Jonathan Isaac did not take a knee. He stood firm, he stood strong, he stood with conviction. And I know for a fact he's not a veteran on the team, absolute hero.
While Masa's unfavorites like Colin Kaepernick and Kyrie Irving get punished and ostracized for being outspoken.
Really, bro? Really? The most disingenuous statements made about black people on the internet currently is produced by this guy.
Niggas like LeBron James and Jonathan Isaac are Masa's favorites because they will put Masa's bottom line above their own interest. It's just a fact. Like LeBron James would criticize Rockets GM at the time, Daryl Morey, for tweeting this and standing in solidarity with the people of Hong Kong. And LeBron James will call Daryl Morey uninformed.
In the situation, I just think that, when you're misinformed or you're not educated about something, and I'm just talking about, the tweet itself, you never know the ramifications that can happen. We all seen what that did. Not only did for our league, but for all of us in America, for people in China as well. And sometimes you have to think through things that you say that may cause harm, not only for yourself, but for the majority of people. And I think that's just a prime example of that.
Daryl Morey wasn't uninformed. LeBron James didn't have access to any new information that would exonerate China. LeBron James was doing Masa's bidding. The CCP is anti-democratic and oppressive. Daryl Morey got it right. LeBron James went at Daryl Morey for his own self-interest because China pumps billions of dollars into the NBA economy every year. And LeBron James understands that when it comes to Masa's bottom line, you better get in line. It's all about compliance and conformity, and that's the difference between a LeBron James and a Kyrie Irving. LeBron James will sell himself out for Masa's bottom line. Kyrie Irving ain't going for none of that. And the same applies to hip-hop media. You see, before the YouTube era, there was really only one way into the doors of the industry. And all of our favorite media personalities went through similar entry points to get into the industry.
I was doing just positive things, and I said to myself, man, this dude I know, he was a radio personality named Willie Will, and I went up to him and I said, Will, how did you get in the radio? And he told me, like, I got an internship. Right. So that's what I went down there and did, got an internship.
Okay, so you knew that you had this desire to be in radio.
Yeah.
And after college, you went straight to the Virgin Islands. How did that job start? How did you get that job?
So, you know, I went to Northeastern. I got my own job. I found it in the back of a radio trade magazine. I applied to several places, and there was nobody to help me. I don't come from people who know anything about media. And I got it at WVIS, FM 106 in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Top 97 When I started in radio, I've always been on the air first. I moved into programming radio stations in the late 90s, turned on some radio stations in California. I came back on the air in 2012.
That route into the industry was very problematic for so many reasons. As a commentator or media personality, you are obligated to the audience to give your real, true, and authentic opinion. But when you enter into those barrier points into the industry, you have to conform to what the program manager wants from you. And not just the program manager, you have to conform to the station manager, the executives at the radio station, who's in bed with the executives at the record label, who's currently subservient to the artist. So now you have 5 masters that you have to conform to. And unless you're just an utter bootlicking, crevice cleaning cocoon, that's a near impossible task. And we've seen time after time, our favorite media personalities will enter through the gateway and conform on their way into the industry. But once they get a little popular, they stop conforming and decide to, branch out a little bit and start giving their real opinions. And time after time, we see they get punished, they get fired, and they receive consequences once they stop conforming.
When Beanie Siegel had a beef with Jay-Z, that was like when Twitter first started. And I remember seeing all these tweets about Beanie Siegel dissing Jay. The first tweet I saw was from Fabulous, and Fabulous was like, "Y'all never thought I'd see the day when Beanie Siegel dissed Jay-Z." And I was like, what? And then K Slade had played the record, so I heard it, and I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, yo, I just reached out to a couple people I knew in Philly, like, yo, I gotta get Beanie Siegel on the phone this morning. Never forget it, because that Monday, I was supposed to move into my new townhouse in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Me and my wife had already packed up everything. The apartment was clean. I had clothes and stuff in my car. I already had put down the security deposit. And that Beanie Siegel interview played on that Thursday, went viral that Thursday night, played it back Friday morning. Saturday was Halloween. Monday come into work. Boogie D, who was the program director at the time, called me in the office and was like, we're moving in another direction. I remember tweeting out that I got fired after 6-7 months of being at 100.3 The Beat, and all the
Wendy had somehow shown people that email. She's shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was going to boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. It was over for her.
But here's the thing. If you abuse and exploit a labor force long enough, eventually some niggas gonna wake up, right? They just can't be big, black, and dumb forever. Some is gonna wake up. And in the case of rap media, Akademiks was the first to wake up. You see, Akademiks did college radio.
Once again, DJ Akademiks.
And Sasha.
Back in the studio with another edition of Campus Invasion Radio.
Yes, yes.
Got fired from college radio.
There's the dirty version. There's mad versions. I used to get it from like a DJ pool site. I play one of those songs while I walk out to the bathroom or to go get a guest or something like that. And the song goes over the radio. This is college radio. It's like ass, 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 ass. Now keep in mind it was not a hip hop station. So it's really supposed to be a rock station, but it's a student station, so you can't stop anyone from being on there. Yeah. The program director used to listen to my show at the odd hour it was at, and they called me in for a meeting. They were like, yo, the word ass technically isn't against FCC rules, but if you have a fucking solid minute of something just saying ass, kick me the fuck off of there.
And then started a YouTube channel.
There's the dirty version. There's mad versions. I used to get it from like a DJ pool site. I play one of those songs while I like walk out to the bathroom or to go get a guest or something like that. And the song goes over the radio. This is college radio. It's like ass. Now keep in mind it was not a hip hop station. So it was really supposed to be a rock station, but it's a student station. So you can't stop anyone from being on there.
Yeah.
The program director used to listen to my show at the odd hour it was at. And they called me in for a meeting. They were like, yo, the word ass technically isn't against FCC rules, but if you have a fucking solid minute of something just saying ass, kick me the fuck off of there.
Akademiks not only figured out the formula for himself that he no longer needs the gatekeepers and the infrastructure, he could reach the audience directly through YouTube, but Akademiks had the audacity to try to teach other people how they can escape the plantation as well.
It's all about gaining an audience. What you need to do, I don't care, like, bro, you can work here 16 hours a day. Bro, make a YouTube channel. Radio hosts, I grew up thinking that the ultimate goal for me was to be on radio. You ever heard of something called Hot 97?
Of course. Something like that, yeah. Hello, man.
Your safety is
Don't
our
laugh.
top priority.
You ever heard of a nigga named Peter
This
Rosenberg?
has been accredited
Of course, yeah.
He a bitch. Hold on, let me tell you this.
Advisory Council.
That little
and
bum,
Airports Council International.
he works
for our
all
clean
year.
and safety
It probably took me
practices.
3 days to make one of them.
Federal
You know
law
what I'm trying
requires
to
a
tell you?
mask
That's like
worn
old
over
school
your
shit.
nose and mouth
Nobody ain't doing
while
that shit no more. That nigga's a bum. Yo, his wife left him for a nigga, left him for the BBC. Real talk. You give me the facts.
Alright, bet.
You don't want to be on Hot 97.
Okay.
You want to be like Big Al.
Right.
Real talk. So I'm going to tell you how.
Big Al, boom.
You got to make a YouTube page. Real rap. YouTube page, get your Instagram on. This is what you do. Be yourself. That's the big.
Akademiks making it off the plantation and coming back to emancipate a labor force who got the proclivity of bootlicking. A, is a waste of time, and B, only infuriated the infrastructure even more and made him public enemy number one. And how did they react to Akademiks now trying to emancipate the labor force? Well, they reacted how every ecosystem who strive off of peddling ideas that exploit a labor force react, right? They sent some house niggas at him, right? They sent Masa's favorites at Akademiks. And one of Masa's favorites were Ebro in the morning, where Ebro will go at Akademiks hard, trying to discredit him every chance he got.
To understand that what you perpetuating is a dead end, B. You might have got some bread, courtesy of the labels. Now I'm gonna tell Akademiks this: you keep popping that, I'm gonna pull one of them invoices from one of them record labels. You keep talking that you ain't getting money for record labels. Ain't nothing for me to call an accounting department and talk about those bulk record deals that you have, those bulk promo deals where they pay you to promote music. It ain't nothing but a thing, my G. Don't have me get loose in old school. I've been doing this war thing for a minute.
Do myself. I gotta do myself. So when you the boss over there, you're the boss. Ebro is the boss of hip-hop at Apple Music. The boss. Look him up, Google it. Global head of hip-hop. Ebro. Ebro Darden. You talking about shit people shovel through. Nigga, you got Moneybag Yo on your shit. Like, look at the artists you got on. You got The Baby, you got Dirk. You got all the niggas who be into it, nigga. You got everybody who... Nigga, you got King Von on your playlist, nigga. King Von...
Akademiks and Ebro fighting over who's peddling BS into the culture and who's responsible for taking away opportunities from the real artists is kind of like niggas fighting over the last piece of chitlin on the plate, which is classic Negro stuff because the system knows if you have black folks fighting over the last piece of chitlin long enough, they'll be too distracted to stop and think, wait, why is there only one piece of chitlin on this plate? Or wait, why are these DSPs adopting workflows and processes that allows and creates an environment where artists are blackballed so easily, right? That's like the classic bug fight theory from Cat's Cradle, right? Where he goes under a tree and see his brother staging cat fights, or bug fights, I should say. See, the bugs are placed in a jar by the brother, and the brother is staging fights between bugs. So he will have one ant fight like 3 caterpillars and one bee fight like 20 ants. But here's the interesting part about it, is when the jar is still, the animals won't fight no matter how close they are. So if you have the 2 bugs in the jar, but the jar is still, no matter how close the bugs get, they won't fight. But when he starts shaking it up and creating turmoil, that's when the bugs fight. So the infrastructure puts us in a jar, puts limited resources, and shake up the jar and watch us fight among each other. The most recent example of this is when the infrastructure rewarded Carisha Please the Best Hip Hop Platform Award 2 years in a row.
To react to what the BT Hip Hop Awards did, they gave the Best Hip Hop Platform to Carisha. Now, come the fuck on. Like, with all due respect, my nigga, I get it that Diddy's dropping dick in her stomach, but come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like, again, and I even seen Nori says something. He was like, nobody gonna say something. Yo, Nori, this is why you should realize, like, this award really don't mean nothing. Because people have just so been accustomed to them not getting it right that nobody's over here getting mad at when they get it wrong no more.
Move up a little bit. Yeah, I think might move up a little bit. Carisha was number 7. I think she might drop a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
She might not see another list in her life.
She may not.
Yo, that ass. Another one. When we getting one of those again.
Yeah, she doesn't drop
Might be a while.
as frequently as
another one bites the dust. do. Another one bites the dust. And another one down. And another one down. Another one bites the dust. I love when a 2-time award winner. I love when they just. It's over now.
Yeah, that thing might be over. I ain't gonna lie.
Picking Young Miami's podcast, Carisha Please, for Best Hip Hop Platform over Akademiks, Joe Budden, Men Hours Worth for Game, Drinks Champs, Say Cheese, DJ Vlad No Jumper is just egregious. But I don't think they're just getting it wrong. I think it's intentional and it's with malice. See, they're trying to send a message. And it's no coincidence that the only 2 podcasts to ever win that award is Drink Champs and Carisha Please. Both are Revolt TV podcasts, bruh. They're sending a message like, hey, bruh, if you want to win these awards, if you want to get down with the get down, if you want acknowledgement from the infrastructure, you have to join the infrastructure. No independent media personality or podcast will ever win that award on BET or any award show. It's never going to happen, and it's not happening. Independent media personalities who had the gall to do their own thing and escape the plantation will never get any acknowledgement from the infrastructure, and it's intentional. But here's the thing, and here's why you guys should be real skeptical of who hasn't escaped the plantation yet, of who is still in Masa's good graces. Because if you're a commentator, if your job is to speak and give your opinion for a living, then your opinion has to be pure. It has to be authentic and genuine. And you have an obligation to the audience. Well, you can't serve 2 masters. You either are obligated to the infrastructure or you are obligated to your audience. And you can't be obligated to your audience if you have to answer and conform to somebody above you. And right now, the civil war is between independent media and the infrastructure. Masa's favorites versus Masa non-favorites. Now, if you are having any problems identifying who Masa's favorites are or who Masa's non-favorites are, well, look at the opportunities. Look at the people who have no shortage of an opportunity. Speedy Mormon is one of Masa's favorites. Again, there's no dig at Speedy. I actually like Speedy. But he's a part of the infrastructure. He's built in. Nadeska, Jinx, right? They're built into the infrastructure. Now, there's a huge difference between the looks that Nadeska and Speedy Norman gets and the look that Akademiks get. Right? It's not a coincidence that Speedy Norman probably gets much more high-profile interviews, much better looks, better gigs than Akademiks, even though Akademiks, some may say, is much more accomplished than Speedy Norman. And that's because the infrastructure is rewarding you for not venturing out and going against the grain. The infrastructure is punishing you for saying, no, I don't want to get fucked and exploited anymore. You're either serving the people or you're serving the system. You can't serve 2 Masas. And if you guys are in the audience, you guys have to make your favorite content creator identify exactly where their obligation lies. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out. about the huge Cat Williams drama. He went on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast and exposed dirt on these comedians. Click on this video here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.